Hey guys, welcome back to Interesting Video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with a Xayah commentary guide. Of course, as we all know before, patch 4.4 comes, all my videos are going to be commentary guys, but if you guys take a look at this particular build, it involves, instead of going for IE, going for rapid fire cannon. And I actually honestly think that this build could be used in patch 4.4, but of course rapid fire cannon is not going to be the magnetic gun thing that gives you both static shivs effect as well as together with the effect of rapid fire cannon itself. So this is a pretty strange match. We have a Vladimir support who really does not have any supportive capability, so he's really more like a carry later on in the game who's going to be getting a lot less gold than usual. Of course, Vladimir support's pretty terrible because you are basically a carry champion that's getting a support amount of gold, which is really bad. So we're playing against a Lucian Pyke, really aggressive early game lane. Of course, Pyke loves to hook us, and Lucian can just burst us down, so we have to really look out for that, and Vladimir has to look out for that as well. So Xayah's pretty good this match because obviously there's a lot of champions that wants to dash in. A new Lucian short range wants to dash in, Pyke also wants to dash in, Ahri to some extent wants to dash in as well, and Wukong and Garen, of course, they're melee champions, so pretty good match for Xayah. So here you can see where basically what we're mainly doing is we're just trying to stay at range and poke them down and trying to minimize the amount of damage we take from Lucian's burst. Of course, we also want to avoid getting hooked, but that one's pretty obvious. Don't really think I need to point that one out. But I think the main point of discussion here with this Xayah build is the fact that you're not going for IE and you're instead going for rapid fire cannon. Now personally this feels really wrong to me, not going for IE, because IE is such a big item when it comes to a crit build, but instead going for rapid fire cannon gives you a lot more utility, but it cuts your damage by so much. I don't really personally like this build all that much, but you can't really give up any other items for rapid fire cannon. Like your Storm Race is really good early game spike, you need your Navori for your cooldowns, and like you really have to end up giving up IE, which is your damage, which really kind of sucks. So we'll have to really see how like what's the progression of this build in patch 4.4. I suspect it could be like a Bloodthirster first item, possibly into like a Navori, and then you could maybe go for this magnetic gun into IE or something like that. Who really knows? Who really knows, right? So we're gonna have to see. Anyways, here Wukong comes in for a gang together with Ahri. Turns out being a 4-man party. I get a huge 3-man route, which forces the flash of Wukong, and we both end up surviving, which ends up being a pretty good situation for us. You know, in the grand scheme of things, nobody really died. We managed to survive. Pyke tries to go in for a hook, but I get a 2-man route onto both Lucian and Pyke, and they're too low HP to really do anything anymore, so they're actually gonna have to back. And despite getting 4-man ganked, we actually end up being in a pretty favorable position. So here I'm happy with the situation. I'm gonna back, but for some reason Vladimir is staying in the lane. He ends up being a 1v1 with the enemy Pyke, so support versus support, and he is actually about to die. He's like 1 HP, but of course Vladimir has insane sustain, and he ends up sustaining back to like basically chunking the Pyke out. So they're both on blinking health bars. Wukong tries to come in, and here honestly I was trying to stop the Wukong from coming in, but instead what happened is Lucian managed to gun him down with the culling, which I could easily have actually blocked here, so that was kind of my bad for him dying. And here I missed my route as well, which is pretty bad because it means I have to run away, because Lucian can, you know, wait for his next round of spells to be able to burst me down. So kind of really bad play from me in this particular instance, where we should have been able to block for the Vladimir, but instead we were trying to get auto attacks in on the Wukong, which was not very good. So here, regardless, we are able to actually push out the lane. We don't know where Pyke and Lucian has went to. Looks like they went mid actually. So here in the meantime, we're actually taking this opportunity to get tower plates. Now, this is actually a pretty good situation for us, not exactly for our team, because our team is kind of getting destroyed. We're 6-0 in terms of kills. We died 6 times, nobody killed anybody, but we actually get 2 full tower plates. Vladimir didn't get any gold, so we actually get 300 gold off of the tower plates, which is basically almost as much as a kill at this point. So that actually kind of evens out the trade. The fact they got a kill mid lane was kind of balanced out by the fact that I was able to actually get 2 plates in the bot lane, so it turns out being not that bad. If you look at the goal, I have like 300 more gold than Lucian, which is mainly because of the plates here. Enemy team tries to go for an all-in. Pyke, I'm not sure what he's doing. He ends up whiffing the ulti completely. I get a kill, and Lucian is now in trouble. I pop the ulti. Unfortunately, I get exhausted, and the feather pullback was not really in the correct direction, so I do end up going down. However, Vladimir is able to finish off the kill onto Lucian, and because of that, we ended up, in a positive trade, get our first 2 kills of the game for our team. Although the kill score is still 2-8, so that's still not too hot for our team, but we're definitely going toward the right direction in terms of picking up some kills. So I'm of course building towards my Stormrazor, which is a pretty good early game spike, and I'm actually starting to really like Stormrazor and Xayah, especially over Shieldbow. Shieldbow was really popular when it first came out and for the next couple of patches, but I think most people at this point have realized that Shieldbow really isn't that strong, especially after the nerf, and Stormrazor actually gives you a lot of value as well. Here I'm once again with my root, and I'm getting destroyed here, so I'm gonna have to flash out. But the Stormrazor extra damage, and in particular the slow, is so useful for Xayah, because getting that Stormrazor slow allows you to get your root more easily, so you auto Q with the slow of course, and then you can root that instantly, which is really strong combo for Xayah, really bread and butter kind of basic combo. Here we're just clearing out the minions. The good thing about this matchup is that we have a major range advantage against Lucian, so we should generally be able to deal with the wave pretty easily, as long as we don't get hooked by the pike or Lucian doesn't just straight up dash in on us. Here we've completed our Stormrazor, so we've backed for the Stormrazor. Me and the Vladimir are completely not in sync, so generally I'm backing when he's not and he's backing when I'm not. And here he actually gets into a fight, but I'm pretty much just headed back to the lane already, so this is a pretty okay fight to take. I get hooked, but it's fine. Pike tries to go in, gets the flash stun, but he's getting really chunked out. I use the ult to lay down the feathers, pull them back for the kill on the Pike. Vladimir flashes forward with the E, and we're able to finish off the kill onto Lucian. Also, of course, using our Omnivamp from the Gluttonous Greaves to regen up our health at the same time on the minions. And off of those 2 kills, not only are we getting more fed, but we're also going to be able to actually take down this tower most likely. And we actually managed to secure, I believe, the first tower of the game. Yep, there we have it. So here the enemy team is, the enemy bot lane has actually respawned, so I'm backing here because I don't want to get caught out. But Vladimir actually chooses to push in the wave. He gets in the wave without actually getting caught, which is pretty fortunate. And he's also able to get away for himself, because as we all know, Vladimir really needs a lot of gold, but he's playing the support role. So yeah. So here we actually rotate mid. Nothing much is actually really happening here, because the gank didn't really turn out much for the Wukong. Here we're just trying to push down mid lane tower, which is relatively low. We get the Stormrazor proc onto the tower at the cost of our bone plating, which is fine. This is really weird that Lucian is not actually going to bot lane to just push out the wave and like try to get tower damage, but here to prevent the situation, I'm actually just going to go down bot. The next wave is coming in from both sides, so here I'm actually just going to clear out this next wave, and then I'm going to be able to rotate back to mid again, and the enemy team is going to lose a lot of gold because this minion wave is going to crash into their tier 2 tower unless someone goes to stop them, in which case we're going to have a numbers advantage in the mid lane and probably a good fight. Turns out the enemy is making a Herald play in the top lane instead, so here I'm trying to rotate my way over across the map. Play is honestly pretty much over at this point, but I'm still kind of making my way there. Enemy team is trying to chase in. I missed the route onto Garen. Unfortunately, Ahri comes over, and obviously her charm has already been used, so not too much threat here. Here I'm seeing if I can get back in the fight. I was pretty cautious there because Ahri could have been camping the bush for me, but turns out she was actually not. So here, Ahri is pretty fed 5, 1, and 2. So here I'm trying to get the kill onto her. Sidestep the charm, get the root, and we're able to actually secure the kill onto the fed Ahri. Really important to anticipate the fact that she's going to charm you, and either you have to sidestep it or ult it if you really need to. And also, of course, position such that you can get the root onto the Ahri. So pretty simple pick there. Alright, I made it look pretty simple, but actually both mechanically as well as just anticipating what's going to happen, quite a lot went into that, of course. But here we're able to complete our Navori Quick Blades, which is of course going to be a major power spike for Xayah. Xayah, with 2 items, does spike pretty well because you get the cooldown from the Navori. And now we're headed back to the lane. Riven goes in 1v3 before I reach the area, and she basically just gets bursted down before anything really even happens. Here I'm laying down the feathers, getting the root onto the Wukong. Wukong once again has to flash away of getting rooted by me. And here we're able to, the fact that we got out Wukong's ulti and his flash, and now maybe even a kill onto Wukong, there we go, kill onto Wukong, right before the dragon starts is pretty good, because this pretty much guarantees us a free dragon. Of course, we're pinging for dragon as well, so here should be a relatively free dragon. Ahri tries to hop over the wall, and Vi ends up getting caught out, so may not be such a free dragon after all. Vi gets charmed, I'm trying to help her out, but not much I can do. I'm not sure why Vi split away from me. We should have just stuck together and it would have been a lot more simpler to get stuff done. So now it turns out from being a free dragon for us, and it's now going to be a relatively free dragon for the enemy team. Lucian is now trying to come in to burst down the Yone. Yone's taking a little bit of damage. Garen's trying to run me down. And here, I try to get the root on him, but it doesn't really quite hit. I get silenced. And here I get ulted. Here I ult as well. Here I try to get the root down, but unfortunately Pyke comes in with the ulti to finish me off. But Yone is able to get both kills between the two towers, so it's not too bad. And then it's a 1-for-2 trade. Pyke did get the shutdown on me, but honestly at this point I don't think Pyke is really the main issue of the enemy team, so I'm not too afraid of Pyke getting the shutdown. I think the main issue is pretty much mainly is the Ahri, and to some extent it's the Garen as well, because if he gets fed enough he can just run us down like what he did just now, except that he's going to actually one-shot us if he's actually dead fed, which thankfully he's not just yet. So here we're still doing really well. We have the most goal in the game, as well as, you know, really good KDA, really good item state. Of course we're building towards that rapid fire cannon, and really something I didn't really cover in this build of the rapid fire cannon is when you should really build rapid fire cannon over IE, because IE of course gives you way more damage than rapid fire cannon. Rapid fire cannon just gives you that utility. So the answer to that is when the enemy team has really low range. You can see that in this particular matchup, Wukong and Garen are both melee. Alright, before we get into that, let's first look at this fight if anything's gonna happen here. Here I'm getting bursted, that's what's happening. I lay down the ult, I get the root, someone actually flashed from me here, so here I'm gonna just ghost out because I don't want to get caught out. Pyke is on the chase, uses his W, probably is gonna use his E, there it is, and is trying to hook me. I don't take any chances here, I'm just gonna flash the hook, and I'm just gonna get back out to safety. So, as I was mentioning just now, this team is really low range. Lucian is the lowest range ADC, Pyke is melee, Wukong is melee, Garen is melee, and Ahri is pretty much the only champ on their team with even any semblance of range. So, it's going to be really, really good to build rapid fire cannon in this match because, you know, by getting that extra range, you can easily just poke them down. Of course, the energized passive on the rapid fire cannon is going to combo with the energized passive on the Storm Razor as well, so you can pretty much just poke them down from long range when they cannot actually reach you. So that's going to be really good. So here, for some reason my team is trying to fight me for the red buff. Yeah, sure, we have the 1-7 Riven who's trying to steal the red buff from the Xayah, who's actually trying to carry the team. So usual solo queue stuff, and then immediately proceeds to donate the buff to the enemy team. Here I have to pop the ult because I'm getting run down. Here I have the feathers laid down, so I get a huge root onto multiple enemy team members. I'm trying to attack the Garen. I actually get charmed here, but thankfully there's no Ahri doesn't have spells aside from the charm, and Vladimir actually picks up a quadra kill. So Vladimir here might be wanting to chase for the Penta. Here there's no one around, so I'm just going to you know, pick up these minions. The last guy alive is actually Pyke, but Pyke is a very slippery character, so there's almost no chance that Vladimir can actually kill him. Vladimir spots it though, so he's of course gonna try. I would do the same if I was on a Quadra, so don't blame him for that at all. But off of this Quadra kill, Vladimir actually gets really, really fed. Like, look at his goal. He has the most goal in the game now. He's on Death Cap and Riftmaker at this point in time, so he's now starting to get into that kind of late game Vladimir situation by this point in the game. So probably like one more item, he can probably start to take over the game. He almost ends up overextending, but he barely manages to complete his recall right before, right before the enemy team catches him out. So here I have the rapid fire cannon. I get a rapid fire cannon auto onto the Garen, but really he's like a really, really tanky guy, so not much is really gonna happen here. Here we nearly got caught up by the enemy team, but we're going to kind of reposition a little bit. I'm just going to go back because I can complete my enchantments. I'm going to actually pick up the stasis here. Of course, stasis is really useful for, you know, if we get caught out of position by like a Wukong or like get hooked by Pyke, things like that. Just an extra layer of safety. So here we're just going to hit back out. And a fight is kind of obviously occurring here. We have the rapid fire cannon auto at the ready. to see if we can like really poke anyone down. Here I get the ghost on, and I'm trying to really tag someone, but my teammates are all just dying here. Vladimir ends up going in, huge engaged by the Vladimir. Vladimir picks up 2 kills, is going for more. I'm getting ignited in the background. Here I didn't really want to continue chasing, but Vladimir just goes in chasing anyways. Here I'm seeing if I can actually come and help him out. It doesn't really look like he even needs my help. Like, just look at how broken Vladimir is. Unfortunately, he gets charmed, but I'm not gonna waste what happened here. I'm gonna flash in, finish off the kill, ult to reset the tower aggro, and we are able to ace the enemy team. Pretty much this is just Vladimir acing the team more or less by himself at this point. Yeah, but Vladimir is a really OP champion, even after he got nerfed a couple of times. If you're a good Vladimir player, Vladimir is still really strong. For some reason, he doesn't want to get the inhibitor, so I'm going to get the inhibitor and run away. My team is going for Dragon in the meantime, which denies the enemy team triple Dragon, which is also pretty huge. So they're going to do that. In the meantime, I'm getting in some counter jungling, also healing off of the jungle monsters at the same time. And with all that done, we can, of course, just recall and reset and start building towards the Mole Reminder, of course, which is going to be really helpful against, of course, the tanky targets of Wukong and Garen, but also to, of course, cut the healing, which there is quite a lot of. Divine Thunder on Wukong, we have Ahri, her passive, we have a Bork on Lucian, a lot of healing in the game, so really good pickup from us. So here you can see I'm paying for Baron because we spot 2 enemies in the bottom lane, including the enemy jungler. I believe we saw Wukong and Garen in the bot lane. Lucian is just busy clearing the wave, so we can pretty much sneak a free Baron without the enemy team really even noticing, which is exactly what we do. We pick up the Baron for free. Ahri's gonna get caught on the top lane most likely as well. You can see that she's trying to just, clear the wave before she dies. I don't know what Vi and Yone are waiting for in terms of just going for the Ahri. In the meantime, trying to help out my Riven, but Riven once again ends up dying. And really, I don't really want to chase the Garen too far, but Vladimir comes in and cleans up the kill. He's gonna go chase the Pyke. In the meantime, I'm just gonna get the wave so that we actually have a wave to push with. He's getting next wave. Here you can see I'm pinging for someone to clear that wave. Because I need to escort this wave to push, and here I'm trying to ping like Yone or Vi to clear the wave, but Vi decides to farm the blue buff instead of trying to defend our inhibitor, and that minion wave can actually possibly get the inhibitor because it's a pretty big wave. So here I'm just trying to, in the meanwhile, push down their tower. So Vi finally backs to clear the wave. Thankfully, the wave did not actually damage the inhibitor yet. Yone gets a little bit eager and ends up getting caught out by the enemy team. In the meantime, I'm just gonna simply walk away. The Elder Dragon is actually spawning in about half a minute, so this is pretty bad, the fact that Yone got caught out, because he won't be up for the Elder Dragon. I managed to pick up my my Mole Reminder, so I'm on 4 items spike for this fight, so it's pretty good state for me. And at this point, Vladimir is actually like full build, except for selling support items, so he's really fed. Here we're gonna let Vi take the buff so we can get the buff share. And Elder Dragon is of course going to come out. Vladimir is now resetting, which is pretty bad because it's just me and Vi here now. If Garen tries to run in here, I'm just kiting him out. He can't really do anything to me, at least not without his team. As long as we don't get hooked by Pyke, of course. And we've completely lost our position at the Dragon. Garen is just trying to zone us away. Vladimir is kind of trying to run in. Here I get hooked by Pyke because he's in the bush and I don't know he's there. But I pop the ulti to go untargetable. And here I'm just trying to maintain distance and do damage at the same time. Here Lucian pretty much doesn't see me and he just gets bursted down by me. I'm flashing over to try to kill the Wukong so that we can try to secure the Elder. Vladimir actually picks up 3 kills. Yone finally comes in, gets the double, and I'm able to secure the Dragon with the feathers. In the meantime, Riven's actually pushed all the way into the base, so this is going to be the victory. Enemy team surrenders, and there we have it. So I'm going to leave you guys with the stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.